Welcome to Your Thoughts, Your Reality with Michael Cole, the podcast that shines a compassionate light on the journey of veterans battling through life's challenges. Michael is a dual elite certified neuroencoding specialist in coaching and keynote training presentations, dedicated to guiding military veterans as they navigate the intricate pathways of post-deployment life. Join him as we delve into the profound realm of neuroencoding science, empowering these brave individuals to conquer universal battles, procrastination, self-doubt, fear, and more. Together, let's uncover the strength within you to re-engage with families and society, forging a new path forward.
Hello, everybody. We have an awesome guest, a friend and ally in the Neuroencoding Institute, Marcus Weiss, here today. So excited. We've been wanting to do this for a while, and I'm so pleased that we made it happen. So Marcus is a passionate actor and director. He's dedicated educator, dual elite certified neuroencoding specialist, advocate for joyful living, and the creator of The Joy Experience. So Marcus, I know we're going to get into a lot of that stuff, but tell us a little bit about you.
Well, thank you so much, Michael, for having me here today. I'm so excited to be here. I was so excited to see your grand intro. It's just so beautiful, and it propels us into this very moment. And I just want to say, before I say anything about myself, I want to share that any moment can be meaningful. And if we were to be interrupted right now by some internet issue or whatever it is, may everybody take one thing away, which is, if this moment feels like something good, then take that away. Allow that to light yourself up. And I say this before you know anything about me, because I was excited to come in here. Then the lights come on. We're present for just a moment and the lights go out. And all of a sudden it's, who was that guy? And in some ways, it doesn't matter. In some ways, it doesn't matter who I am, where I came from, what happened 5 minutes ago, what happened a month ago, what happened 3 years ago or 35 years ago when I was in college, when I was depressed. What's important is the here and now. What's important is that in my model of the world, in the model that I like to share with people, is it's here and it's now. And what can we do to create a life that moves forward? To create something, and I use the word create, and I have in my headline down there the potential of joy, because it's the potential until it becomes the power, because we have the power. We infuse potential with something to make it powerful. We put stuff, we have to create the thing ourselves, and then we can move forward from this moment, from this here and now. And I'm not going to turn the camera off. Don't worry, everybody. I'm still going to be here. I'm going to tell you all about myself.
I was like, do I turn off the lights now?
No, do not turn off the lights, for goodness sake. No. In fact, can you see how bright this is? Can you see the light shine? My ring light popping off at the top of my head?
Amen. So Marcus, seriously, let's tell us a little bit about yourself. What do you do? What brings the joy?
Good. What brings the joy? My name is Marcus Weiss, and my brand is the Marcus Weiss Experience. And I share my experience from the past, which includes this. I'm also a dual elite certified neuroencoding specialist. I help people overcome and get the overcome stress, anxiety, overwhelm, procrastination, just like we share that common mission, you and I. I particularly leverage feelings of joy to pull people into their future. And the reason I do that is because I have been through some things that have taught me certain things that I can do to make my moment just a little bit better through here, starting here, down into here, and out into here. So like you said, your thoughts, your reality. And that's kind of what I do too. I started my personal development journey, my coaching journey, coming up to COVID, really. Before COVID, I was a highly successful actor, director, educator, producer here in Las Vegas. And I had done Blue Man Group for over 10 years, which is a major show here in Las Vegas. I still work for Cirque du Soleil, which is a huge entertainment company. And I performed for 2 of their shows. I've worked for the Second City, which is an improv sketch comedy company that's been out of Chicago since the 50s. Very high level stuff. and won awards all over town for my performance work, where I take on and took on, I continue to perform in it. I take on scripts that are not my own stories. I put them in here, and through training, I allow those thoughts of that character to go into my heart and out into my body. And then I go up on a stage and I make that happen. And the audience comes alive and they clap at the end. They go like, that was great. You want more of it? And then I walk out with some kind of an energy like, oh, I did a good job. Amazing.
Fantastic.
And yet, leading up to COVID, Michael, I wasn't doing that in life consciously. I had enough energy that was fueling me from the outside through my performance work and my success on the outside, sort of carry, to sort of buoy me, hold me. I kept seeing this happening on the outside, and I wasn't aware of how that was feeding me, but it was feeding me. And all of a sudden, when everything was taken away during COVID, I had a kind of a crisis moment, really. And I had been struggling with things, even with all the performance work. I had struggles going on in here that I wasn't even aware of, that were living in my body, from past. And I can tell these stories too about my past and my childhood and a, arguably traumatic divorce and all kinds of things as we've gone through. And these were things that came to a head in COVID, right, when that outside stimulation, when those outside circumstances were taken away, I was left with myself. And it's like, what am I actually doing? Nothing out there was telling me what to do. I wasn't on stage. I wasn't getting any applause. And I was like, whoa, what's happening in here? What is happening in here? And this is what's happening. See this face? And my wife had gone through some personal development things, some coaching things. And she was just being what she had learned. She wasn't pushing it on me. She was being it. And she nudged me into a seminar. And to give credit where credit is due, it was Tony Robbins and Joseph McClendon III, who are two of my mentors. I think we also share some mentors there.
Absolutely.
And all of a sudden, I found myself jumping up and down. In this case, I was jumping up and down. I found myself energized. I found myself curious about what was next. I found myself looking forward to the next day of these trainings or whatever was happening. And all of a sudden, I had different thoughts and as a result, different feelings. And I was doing different things. Now, granted, government checks were coming in, so I didn't have to make a living. But there was something that I noticed about what I was doing myself. And I really couldn't wait to get up in the morning. And I didn't want to go to sleep. And before, I couldn't wait to go to bed.
Right.
And I dreaded getting up.
So we had a very similar experience with the Neuroencoding Institute, et cetera. So, many people know that, we've had a construction company for years, and, after COVID and things dove, and I was, my wife and I were like, what do we want to do when we grow up? And we found the Neuroencoding Institute because I know of him from Tony Robbins, and Joseph McClendon was there, and there was always a draw to Joseph McClendon III. He's just this magnetic guy. He's funny, all the things that I'm drawn to. And so it was very similar. Very similar. I mean, we've revamped our construction company and that kind of thing, but honestly, the neuroencoding has really changed me as a person in my life every day. So we have a very similar story. It's interesting.
What's beautiful about it too, Michael, thank you for sharing that,
Absolutely.
is that while you have a construction company and I had the performing world, that we can find the things that are common about it.
Absolutely.
That something about the previous life held us down, or there was something about it that didn't feel right, or didn't feel good, let's say. I don't like to use the words right and wrong, actually. I rarely do. But that sense that this isn't me, or there's something about this, and see these thoughts that I'm having right now, it translates into this face and ultimately translates into here. And there's something about it, right? Like the hair is standing on end on my arms right now as we talk about it. Yeah. And I think all of us have some kind of story or something going on in our lives, either in the past when we think about it or the present when we're experiencing it, that bring up those feelings in us. And the Neuron Coding Institute for us was something that helped us get beyond it to this other side that again might look different for us. But the bridge that you and I went over and are now sharing with other people is the same. It's like two circles that overlap,
Absolutely.
And recognizing, hopefully the audience here today can also recognize that it doesn't matter the specifics of your story, the specifics of where you've been. We share the common experience in terms of the essence and what those experiences mean to us in here.
Absolutely. Fantastic. And thank you for sharing that. It's super important. The funny thing, and I think you probably, and I don't know because we've not talked about this, and Marcus and I talk, we don't talk every day, but we talk often. So have you found with neuron coding, and we're going to get past neuron coding and get back into the joy.
Of course.
Have you noticed, because I know I have with restarting, if you will, revamping, remodeling the construction company, if you will, I found joy again in it because I now go back out and do sales and stop doing that. So I found a way to serve and to help again in both elements of both companies that we own. Do you notice that as well?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And I have found the ability to recognize, acknowledge, and celebrate and validate really these feelings and that progress. So, I call it joy, but joy can look different for people. It can be it can be somebody jumping out of an airplane with a parachute, or it can be sitting under a tree, or it can be it comes in all shapes and sizes: awe, wonder, gratitude, just the sense of flow. So with the Neuron Coding Institute and the work that we've done in there, I have had these feelings that have made me sort of be pulled forward, to drive forward, to be excited, and then to go, wait a minute, that's legit. Wait, you mean that's legit? That's not just me. That's not just me going, that's not just me being excited and ignoring the problems in the world. That's not me shoving stuff under the carpet. That's actually a legit way to look at life and move forward. And that has been a huge deal. And it's what I share with my clients too. When they're in a moment and they write and they want to do more of it, and they're smiling, they have energy. And when they talk about something, they just have a glow about them. Sometimes it's calm, but there's a sparkle in their eyes, which is the window to the soul, to and from the soul. And I'm like, everybody, that's it. That's it. Now, how did you get there? How did you get there? That's the key.
So Marcus, let's talk about that, shall we?
Yes, please.
We're just so you know, I prepared questions. I always prepare a couple of questions for every time we do this, and of course when we go to the podcast, separately from being live on Facebook and all the streaming here. I haven't used one of these. We're halfway done, Marcus, and I haven't touched it.
My bad.
Not your bad. No, it's genuine conversation. So that's always better than anything you have to read off a piece of paper. So thank you. Let me just go there because we have that relationship, right?
Yes.
So let's talk about how we find the joys. And of course, I always want to spin this into the veterans and their families. So when you feel stuck, again, you don't want to get out of bed. You just want to go to bed at night, and you're stuck. When you have that realization, what's one of the first tips or steps that you would give someone to snap out of that so that they can make a change, take an action to move forward and find joy?
Two things come to mind. And that is, set the bar low. Set the bar low.
Explain that.
And what I mean by that is, I imagine, again, I have not been in the military. My father-in-law is a military veteran, as is my sister. They are both retired from the military. My father-in-law from the Air Force, my sister from the Navy. And what I saw from the outside was very high standards that they lived up to. And I thank all of you out there who are listening, who are veterans, for your service and for the hard work that you put into yourselves so that you could put out hard work for others in the service of others. And now I imagine that it's time to do service for yourself. Because unless you do service for yourself, you cannot do service for others and those around you. And then that life will then reflect back to you, that whatever light you do or do not put out to others, it will not reflect back, and you will feel that. And it's like a circle. It's a downward spiral or an upward lift. So how to get out of that is any upward lift starts on the ground. And if we do feel we don't want to get out of bed or we can't wait to go to sleep, my favorite time of the day was being unconscious, Michael. Was being unconscious. I could not wait to not have any dreams. I couldn't wait to close my eyes. I remember in an argument I said to my wife, I remember once, an argument, just, here we go. I was like, sleep is all I have. I have 2 kids. And I was like, sleep is all I have? That was my favorite possession, was sleep in life. Yeah. So, but recognizing that in order to get up off the ground, in order to create some kind of lift, we have to acknowledge, okay, I'm here. And that recognition is an embrace of self. I'm not talking about going, pat, 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 I'm amazing yet. Just acknowledging that you are here, you're above ground. Any day above ground can be, and I say this on purpose, can be a blessing. It can be better than those who are not. But sometimes we're not even in that space because, and I say this out of experience, everybody, sometimes the pain of living can be greater than the thought of the pain of not living. And I know that place. That's an intense place, which is why I hope that somebody just hears this. Open your eyes, and if you're used to following commands, then take it as a command. Open your eyes and say to yourself, it's going to be a good day. I'm not even saying don't say great. Or maybe even this, everybody. Just say it's going to be a day. Maybe you just say it's going to be a day. Like literally say it's going to be a day, which means what you say to yourself, your brain will believe you. Now, if you believe it with passion and emotion, it's going to get excited. But even if you just say it with conviction, something, whether you believe, whether it's true or not, if you imagine something, and especially when you say it out loud, it's going to go out here, come out here, go in here. Your brain believes you. That's science. Your brain will believe you. That's going to be day, which means that you are saying something to yourself that is telling yourself and your brain, you're going to make it to the end of the day. You're telling yourself that. You're telling yourself that. And say that to yourself. I'm talking literally when your eyes open. So that the first thing you say to yourself is not like I did. Oh, no, not again. Yeah. No. You make yourself say it's going to be a day. And then the next day, maybe you add, it's going to be a good day. And then you're going to say, it's going to be a great day. I personally do this every day, everybody. And I mean this. I take my fingers and I go, get ready. It's going to be a great day. There you go, Michael. That's right. Because it makes me do this just enough, to think just enough, to feel just enough, to stretch just enough to get out of bed. And then after that, frankly, this is the second thing I need you to do, is to say, I did that. I did that. And then if you want to celebrate yourself in some way, just go like, I did that. And maybe just go thumbs up. Maybe that's all you got. And that thumbs up turns into like a 2 fists, maybe 2 thumbs up. And the next day, maybe take a little pat on your shoulder. Maybe. And because we celebrate, and you know this from neurocoding, but I really did this before neurocoding. The celebration, and I got this from performing too, is what makes you want to do more of it. Because that's what applause of ourselves is. When we were children, our parents, they said, you did that, you're amazing. And then the baby goes, ka, 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 ka. What is this connection, celebration, and joy? I'll do that. What did I just do? Oh, I took a step. I'll take another step.
I'll take another one.
Take another one. So that's key. So when you do those things, please don't tell yourself, all right, well, no. Make yourself go. It's going to be a day. You get up on your feet and then you say like, right on, I got up on my feet. Okay. Then step number 3, do we have time?
Yes.
Okay. Same thing with a mirror. You go to a mirror. And a lot of people, and this is okay, this is beautiful, okay? It's aspirational. And again, I imagine as veterans, we're used to hard work. We're used to large missions. We're used to really taking things on with gusto and bravery. And so, but I say again, there's a lot of headwind here. I imagine coming back to civilian life. There's a lot of stuff that we're working through. So start small. Look into the mirror and don't go, I'm freaking great yet. You can do that maybe a week from now, but just start like this. Look in the mirror and don't look away. Look in the mirror and don't look away.
I'd love to add something really quick, and that's fantastic. And if you struggle with this, and a lot of veterans that I work with do, but if you struggle with it, look to the top of your forehead first. Work yourself into looking into your eyes, because a lot, and it's not just veterans, guys. I mean, let's just be real here. I coach other people as well, civilians as well, and it's surprisingly difficult for people to look themselves in the eyes because you feel it in your soul. And look, I just got chills. Because when you look yourself in the eyes, you look and you can feel your soul, and that's why what he's about to tell you is so powerful. Sometimes you just start with hugging yourself to give yourself love. There's different ways to do this, but this, Marcus, I just wanted to add that, but please continue. It's baby steps, and that's what he's doing. But if you can't look yourself in the eyes to start, look at the top of your forehead, look at your chin, and then work your way to that place, because it's super important to get to where he's about to take you. Please.
Oh, that is beautiful, Michael. And I will share that with the people that I serve and help as well. That's really gorgeous. That's almost like when you're approaching something that is very sensitive, like digging out treasure or a fossil. You don't go straight for it. Just acknowledge that. That's really, really great. Look at your forehead, and then whatever you're comfortable with. And really
continue to make action forward, though.
Yep.
Just continue. When you're ready, get a little closer. Just make sure you're always moving forward to take that action to make progress. Okay, that's all I got. Please.
To make progress. And acknowledge that progress. Acknowledge that progress. So once you look at your forehead, again, boom, or boom. Maybe this is the progress, and then this is even more progress, and then this two-handed. That is all progress too, by the way. When you celebrate yourself, you can even celebrate yourself for celebrating yourself. Like, I did that. Well, I just celebrated myself. I'm going to celebrate myself even more.
Absolutely.
And so we do this exercise at every level of when I was a performer, when we're performing. It's even hard for performers to look at themselves, which is why they often look, by the way, inside information. There's a lot of performers who struggle with self-worth. And self-worth related, a cousin to self-worth, is fear of rejection. And fear of rejection is something that we're born with. It's like a survival mechanism. The fear of rejection goes all the way back to when we're helpless babies. Human beings, I believe, next to elephants, have the longest period of dependency on others than in any other animal on the planet. And so it's encoded in us to need other people. And apparently it's been shown that, in sort of brain scans, that the fear of rejection in babies when the parents leave is equivalent to fear of death.
I did not know that.
Wow. It is something that is really, really intense in us. And the reason I bring this up now is because we also have a fear of rejecting ourselves.
Oh, yeah.
We don't, because we are hard on ourselves. Being hard on ourselves is a way of rejecting ourselves. Absolutely. And nobody likes that feeling either. So that's why we have to inch up to this, because staring ourselves straight in the eyes right away, if that's difficult for us, could potentially trigger feelings of rejection of ourselves. And nobody wants that. So make sure that at every little step you go up to your comfort zone, just inching just enough, but it's, yeah, you go,
Just a little over, just a little over.
A little bit beyond. Okay, remember this. Remember, guys, let's go, everybody out there, y'all. And then boom, right when it comes beyond the comfort zone, stop, celebrate. And then the next time you go, like maybe eyebrows, and then eyelids, and then maybe you go back to the cheekbones, and maybe the nose, maybe the mouth, and then boom, 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 you got your whole face, and then shoo, windows to the soul. And when you can acknowledge your soul and say hi to it, and then celebrate the fact that you looked at your soul, that means that you acknowledge its existence. And when you acknowledge its existence and you can celebrate its existence, then I believe you're celebrating life itself. And when you really feel, even if it's just the beginning, even if it's sort of this low hum of celebration, that is joy. And that will be within you, because you're celebrating what's deep within you, and you're celebrating that joy, and that is the joy experience. And that joy, please hear me now, if the internet goes out, that is what lives within you at all times. You already have it within you, and it can only come from within you. Every tool that I give you and Michael gives you, every tree you see, every child's smile you see, every ocean breeze you take in, every flower you smell, whatever it is, ultimately triggers something in you, makes that thing within you come alive. I like to call it the pilot light of joy. The pilot light of joy is always on within you. It might be so small that you cannot perceive it, you cannot feel it, you cannot see it, but it exists. It has to exist, because if you're alive and listen to this, it's there. It's there. We just have to add some fuel to it, or add some conscious of the dial. So that's the third thing. So look yourself in the mirror, and if you want, eventually there's more things you can do in the mirror, but we'll save that for another time, or for when you connect with one of us. But start there.
So thank you for going through that, and very, very well described and put. So thank you.
Thank you, Michael.
I'd like to talk a little bit about, because we are getting towards the end of time now. We need like 6 episodes.
All right, I'll be back.
Fantastic. We'll be back tomorrow morning. No, I'm just joking. So how do I say this? So with your course, the Joy Experience, it sounds absolutely amazing. Can you talk a little bit about what that is?
Yes. It's a 2-day course. Each time is 2 hours on Saturday. Coming up, actually, there's one coming up at the end of June, I believe, beginning of July.
Chance, Marcus, if you get a chance, once this is done, can you put it in the comments so people can find it?
Absolutely. I'll put all my links in the comments. Okay. Fantastic. And it's a 2-week, 2 hours at a time for this 2 different Saturdays. And what I do is we create community. We create a sense of connection. We create a safe space where people can share where they're coming from and where they want to go. And then I share specific tools that everybody can use and experience and practice and rehearse with emotion in real time in a safe space, tools that they can use to find, create, and most importantly, sustain feelings of joy, if they so choose, in their lives moving forward. So that's what that's about. So that not only are they going to come out of each session feeling good, inspired, pulled into something, but they're going to go away with practical tools that they can actually use, things they can actually do that are simple, that they can use at any point in time in their lives, really any moment, to make any moment meaningful in the meaning that fulfills them. So that's what the Joy Experience is. It's an experience for everyone. So the sessions are an experience created to have the experience you want to have once you leave. That's it.
Fantastic. And I want to just add, he touched on a couple of things. Community, big. A lot of times people have courses, classes, all these things, and there's no community around it. So you go to it, it's all rah, and then you go home and it all drops and actually can send you backwards almost, because you were expecting to have this massive change. You go backwards and life kicks in. As Les Brown says, life be lifing, and you end up opposite. So it's an amazing thing to have that community surrounded. So amen, man. I'm glad that's part of your program. That's fantastic.
Amen indeed. Thank you. Thank you. And we are here. You and I share a community, and we just expanded our community because now your community and my community are connected as well. And recognizing that in this very moment is that it's a net.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, or a tree, whatever, it's everybody's connected like a family tree.
Is it the roots?
Or the roots. That's right. Did you know apparently that, and you're a landscaping guy that the root system of a tree is sort of equivalent to the top. Like if you see the top, the same is going on at the bottom. Is that true?
Not on all trees. So I'm not going to get into all this right now, but some trees do that. Some grow more of a tap root to go down, and then they just have surface roots and those kinds of things to bring in nutrients and those kinds of elements. So it depends on the tree, but for the most part, yes, that is correct. Yeah.
And I think, do we have time just to tie that back into the community that you were talking about? Because
Please do.
I would like to share that. And then one extra thought, if I may. The reason I bring that up too is because the connections that we have from the past, or the family that we have, the things that exist, we can strengthen those roots. Those connections are important, and we can nourish those and fertilize those, and we can grow and create new branches of connection that gather sun and that gather light on the outside. So all of you out there, you know me now. Let me be part of a branch that you create for your life. Let me help you gather sunlight and feed into your trunk. You know what I mean? I love metaphors. I come from an artist background. I don't always use them depending on who I work with, but I think let me help you, right? Let Michael help you become a part of you. So, and you mentioned that you hadn't used a lot of your notes that you had prepared for. No. And if I may leave one thought or one feeling as well, is that it's important that we also recognize that no matter how much you prepare for, life be lifing, like you mentioned, Les Brown saying, and that when we encounter a little side road or when something comes up, it's not just, I'm being distracted by a shiny thing. It's like, I've discovered a shiny thing. What's up with that? And recognizing that life can take twists and turns. Life has endless possibilities. The key to it is to intentionally find meaning and fulfillment no matter where you turn. That knowing that it's okay if you take a left turn, whether it's on purpose or by mistake, but then going, okay, here I am. What's up with this? What can I find right here? And knowing that some treasure can be found there as well. I think that's very, very important for all of us to recognize. So we may not have used the questions there, but we found other moments to create meaning and hopefully fulfillment and service.
Yeah, absolutely. And honestly, we have so much in common, and it just, I'm about organic conversations because that's a real conversation, right? That people feel from your heart. I prepare just in case, or something comes up or brings to another fork in the road, if you will, on discussions. But I will always prefer the organic, let's just talk to, hold on, here's question 3.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah. But then preparation, too, it puts us into a frame of mind and a frame of heart. And it allows for us to process what we're going to go into. Absolutely. And then keeps us in this frame of mind and heart and spirit. So thank you very much for being so well prepared and for being so open and always bringing it back to what's important, Michael, both on camera and off.
Absolutely. And I don't know how to be another way, man. And thank you for being you. Honestly.
Thank you.
Truly. So with that said, we need 3 questions. I got questions. 3 tips to get people, for veterans and their families, further faster.
3 tips to get you further and faster. Okay, good. Number 1, recognize what doesn't serve you. And I know that's, serve, okay? We all know what serve means. Recognize what's going to be constructive or not constructive in a moment, okay? We all know what doesn't feel good up here, or it's not good up here and doesn't feel good in here. Okay. And try your best to break that pattern. Just tell yourself on the inside real quick, stop. Now, there's things that you can do in that moment as well. But even if you just go stop, count to 5. See, I'm setting the bar low. Don't even worry about counting to 10 yet. Just count to 5. So that's okay. That's number 1. Okay. Number 2 is if you find anything at all, again, set the bar low. Have I said that yet? Anything at all in your life that brings you some kind of a feeling that's on the spectrum of positive. Okay. It can go from absolute terror to ecstatic. Okay. We're not talking about, sorry about that. That was shocking. Okay. I'm just talking anywhere on the side that goes, that's positive. That means that it feels, it just feels a little good. I want you to do this. I want you to make a fist and say the word yes. Mm-hmm. That's it. I'm not even asking you to go, yes. Okay. Just go, yes. There's a difference between saying yes and no. It has a different energy to it. And that's a good thing. Sometimes you need to say no. The no is not the same as yes. It's a different energy. So literally say the word yes and squeeze your fist. Thirdly, at the end of the day, when your head hits the pillow, and this is key, review the day and what was positive about it. What was good about it? Again, remember the steps though. Start low. You don't have to say what was amazing, what was great about it. Just what was life affirming about it. What was life affirming about it? Literally when you close your eyes. End your day with the review. End your day with a review when your eyes close. And you can start at the beginning of the day. And guess what? You're going to fall asleep. It's like counting sheep. Just the little things like, oh, I got up. I brushed my teeth. Okay. Now, you're going to have practice during the day because guess what? You will have said yes with a fist a whole bunch of times. And guess what? Those little yeses and fists are your clues to what you're going to review at the end of the night.
Love it.
Okay.
Love it.
So those are the 3 things. I hope that helps.
It does. I love it. Fantastic, man. And, as time goes on, you can start journaling those things, those positive things that he was just talking about, but just start there, man. I'm gonna try it tonight. I've not done that specifically to try to fall asleep, so I'm gonna take your tip.
Oh, great! Yeah, so try it. You're welcome.
Absolutely. So, Marcus, how do people get a hold of you?
So I am Marcus Jacob Weiss on Facebook. I am the Marcus Weiss Experience on Instagram. My email address is, get this, the Marcus Weiss Experience @gmail.com. My website is www.themarcusweissexperience.com. And get this, everybody. Yeah, my phone number is on my website. Okay, I'm not going to put it out right now on social media, but that's it. I'm also on LinkedIn as Marcus Weiss, and my I think that's everything except my phone number. Correct?
Sounds good. What I would do, Marcus, is again jump in here. We're on there on almost all of those, if not all of them, and just put in how to contact you on those
in the comments.
That way people have it.
Sound good? Do.
Awesome. Hey, I just want to thank you for the time, Marcus. This has been amazing. I always enjoy spending time with you, sir. Fantastic. As we know, time is the most important resource for human beings. We don't get it back. So thank you. I'm honored that you've spent going on 39 minutes with us. So thank you.
Thank you. And thank you for your time and the true honor of being in your presence and serving you and those that you serve. It's been a pleasure and a joy.
Hey, he always uses that word.
There it is.
Fantastic. So everybody, I just want to remind you on the top right-hand corner, there's a blue QR code. Scan that. If you're on the podcast forums, it's empowerperformancestrategies.com. There are books I've written that are free. There are groups to join in Facebook, etc. Get involved, get around, like-minded people, so that you're not sitting alone in your shit. Let's just call it what it is. So reach out and please contact us. Marcus, we are out of here.
Out of here.
Thank you for joining us on another insightful journey of Your Thoughts, Your Reality podcast with your host, Michael Cole. We hope the conversation sparked some thoughts that resonate with you. To dive deeper into empowering your thoughts and enhancing your reality, visit empowerperformancestrategies.com. Remember, your thoughts shape your reality, so make them count. Until next time, stay inspired and keep creating the reality you desire. Catch you on the next episode.